So, hello everybody. We're back. I greet you from inside Chris' living room. Thanks for having me as a guest once more. And today's scenario will be surprise attack. And we'll hopefully see quite an exciting battle.
Alright, for today's battle, the Space Marines have a fleet that is consisting of 2 strike cruisers. Both of them got the upgrade to carry an additional shield. Furthermore, we have escort squadrons, one of them consisting of 2 hunter destroyers. Those are the small and fast vessels with the torpedoes. Then we do have 3 of the Nova frigates. These are lance boats, basically, 3 of them. Then there is an escort squadron of 3 Firestorm frigates. Once again, these are the Imperial vessels that are now manned with a Space Marine crew. They carry also a laser lance as their main armament. And then there's the last escort squadron I brought today, which is 2 sword frigates. Again, Imperial ships with a Space Marine crew upgrade. Those are not really special. They're rather cheap and only have weapons batteries. And because today we are playing scenario number 4, which is the surprise attack, for the planet that you can see in the middle of the table later, I have the opportunity to roll 2d6, depending on the fleet size, it's 2d6, for which I am allowed to bring defenses. So for the 120 points that I rolled up, I bought a total of 4 orbital defense platforms. These are laser platforms. Basically all of these markers that are scattered around the planet are carrying 2 lances. They have an armor rating of 6. And yeah, they cannot move. They will stay in a geostationary orbit, exactly 15 centimeters away from the planetary template. And yeah, maybe they help my fleet because I just rolled my D3. That D3 roll would have determined how many of my ships or escorts are allowed to be on routine patrol in the sector. And obviously, as always, I rolled a 1, so I can choose a single squadron or ship to be active when the game begins. Everything else will be parked in orbit around the planet's template, and I need to roll a leadership roll every round. So to find out whether they wake up basically in time, and then I can use them. So all of them will be for the beginning of the game hanging around the planet, and then Marcus can determine which table side he's going to choose to have his attacking ships coming in from. So I'm going to set up first with the Space Marines. See you after deployment.
But you were lucky when it came to see how many points you could spend on the defensive platforms and stuff like that, because you roll 1d6 in games with fleets of up to 500 points and multiply the result with 10. So because of our 760 point forces, we were allowed to roll 2d6, so the maximum would be 120 points.
Which is what I got.
Okay, and these are the 760 points. Thanks for being allowed to use your force. The heaviest ship on the table and the one in which my commander, the Chaos War Master, which allows me 1 reroll, resides, is an Acheron class heavy cruiser called South of Heaven. And we've got a Devastation class cruiser as well, being called Hell Awaits. And then I bought 2 Slaughter class cruisers. We'll use proxies for them. The one with the black prow and the small frigate. The escort is a Slaughter cruiser. Indeed, both of them are armed identically. One of them, let's say this one is Tormentor and this one is the Antichrist. Let's see if any of them managed to do some damage. And by the way, if you think you know where these names come from, you can write it in our comments. Okay, and we're back after deployment. As you can see, Chris was deployed closely towards the planet, so half of them will be hidden from my approaching ships, and only these small...
The torpedo boats are on routine patrol, but I kept them close to the planet because why would I put them somewhere on the table? I don't know where Marcus is coming from.
And your orbital stuff is ready as well.
These are the only ones awake. The rest of them is taking their nap, Space Marine nap, 200 years.
I thought about maybe spreading my force, maybe sending 2 ships this way and 2 the other way, but this way I'd be targeted by more of the orbital platforms, and therefore I decided to have my complete fleet pass the planet over there, do some shooting before disengaging, and I hope I'll do some damage before disengaging.
Those 2, they were sent out to get the parking ticket for the parking deck.
And I put the small ones, the slaughter cruisers, Tormentor and Antichrist over there, and the 2 large one, the Acheron heavy cruiser, as well as the Devastation over there. So let's see how successful I am, and we'll be back after my first movement. Okay, we're back. I think I might have made a mistake. Many of the lenses and the 60 centimeter stuff will be out of the fire arc. Only when I pass in my second turn will I be able to target them. But and the other thing, because of turning, I wasn't allowed to give the lock-on order, one which might have proved useful. So I think, well, might be a bad first turn, but at least we will have around 10 dice on 6s on the first orbital platform. On 6s. Okay.
That's all you need.
2 6s, shields gun, and so we can remove. Maybe I'll use these 3 then to fire into them. But taking a closer look, they are now a beam. And that's where 6 dice becomes 1, I think. If I shoot at escorts a beam.
Yeah, that's 1.
And it's not within 15, but it's within 30. Okay. So it's at least 1. On a 5. Come on, let's do a 5. No, it was a 1. Bad luck. And then I've only got from this one, battery of 6 will become 1 into them. No. And then we've got 2 lances.
For plus.
Come on, let's do some damage. Only 1, and that's a shield. So this was pretty harmless.
What about the other 2?
Sudden attack.
Just 2 lances.
They are target.
Oh, they had targeted the platform. Okay.
So nothing, only 40p of damage done.
Do you want to move your ordnance? The bombers?
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Let's move them. Yeah, probably towards the planet.
Up to 20 centimeters.
So.
Is it 1 large squadron or is it 2 squadrons?
Oh, let's say 2 separate ones. Okay, and now all we can do, there's no damage done to be repaired, so all we can do is remove some of the blast markers. 6.
Only those that are not in contact.
Okay, they are removed, and I think that's the end of my first turn.
Okay, so I wrote the leadership tests for the various ships that are anchoring in orbit around the planet. Unfortunately, for the most part, the Space Marines have absolutely no clue what's going on. Interestingly enough, the two ships or slash squadrons that I was able to wake up for the engagement were exactly the ones that were close enough to Marcus's attacking fleet. So as you can see in the camera picture, the escort over here moved out from a stationary orbit and positioned themselves so they can attack with lances and their batteries. Same with the cruiser that was anchoring over here, and then those were the hunter torpedo boats. They were on routine patrol from the beginning of the game. I only had them turn to the right and accelerate to the almost maximum distance that they could fly in order to squeeze a bunch of torpedoes out before they probably are going to get destroyed. Anyways, we've laid out the dice for the incoming firepower. I'm going to concentrate everything that is going to fire in that round onto the slaughter cruiser.
The Antichrist.
The Antichrist.
You seem to be a witch hunter.
Maybe. Anyways, since everything is going to attack this one ship, it made perfect sense that Marcus was attempting to brace for impact, which he successfully did. So from everything that is going to hit that vessel, Marcus can still try to save them on a 4+. So let's begin with the Nova Squadron. The Nova Escorts is first squeezing off the rounds from their batteries. I need 5s in order to overcome the armor. None, so that was ineffective. And then there's a... Hang on, that was not the Novas. Those were the dice from the cruiser.
Okay.
Okay, so those were the shots from the cruiser, and then now there's the bombardment cannons. On 4s, also nothing. Now this is the dice pool for the Novas. Batteries. There's 2, so these are both of the shields.
Can't I roll against them?
It's not damage yet.
Okay.
It's only the shields.
Yep.
Then there are the lances, 3 of them for 3 frigates on 4s. There's 2 of them. Those would do damage. Against those you have your 4+.
And now I try my 4+.
1 gets through. On a 6 it becomes critical.
It's critical?
No, so it just takes away a single wound. And then we got the hunters. They also have a firepower with the batteries. On 5s. There's another one that you can try to save against. Nope. It becomes critical. Yes, it does.
It's critical.
So 2 wounds gone. What's the result for the critical damage? An 11.
It's a lot. It's probably a follow-up wound.
No, it's a half reach with a D3.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Already 2, and now I get another 2, so
Another
I've got
2.
4, and now I'm crippled because it's half. Yeah.
Yep. Wow. Okay.
Okay. And you've got the torpedoes left and your fighters.
Yeah, that's the ordnance phase. So first off, 4 rounds are down. So torpedo phase, I announced to Marcus before launching the torpedoes that these are going to be not the explosive torpedoes. They are like assault boats. I always forget how they are called in English. Anyways, these are going to fly through the blast marker. So on a 6, the torpedoes will get destroyed. Let's see if they get destroyed. Nope, they make it through. Oh, you still have your turrets.
Okay.
Half the turrets because you're crippled.
So it's 1.
Think about it. There's also Thunderhawks coming. You need to make a choice. Is it the torpedoes or is it the Thunderhawks?
I do the torpedoes.
The torpedoes, okay. 4+, that's enough.
Okay. Is it okay only to roll once for all of the torpedoes? And only to roll once
you
for
can
all of
only
them?
roll 1 die because you
Okay.
have just 1 turret.
Okay.
The marker will be removed.
Okay, and why didn't you roll 4 times when you went? Because you had 4 torpedoes when you went through.
No, it's a wave of It's a
Okay.
wave with a
One
firepower
wave.
of 4.
Okay.
It's only a single marker, so you roll for the marker. You do not roll for the individual firepower.
Okay.
So the marker made it through, and the marker also got completely wiped out by the turret. So that leaves us with the Thunderhawks. They can fly up to 20 centimeters, which is enough to get in contact. So same with them. Are they going to get destroyed by flying through the debris? Yeah, of course. Okay.
So both?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is it. There's only a single blast marker that can be removed.
Can I try to repair?
I don't think you can repair the whole breach. Because you cannot repair or heal wounds.
Okay.
And it's not causing anything but these 3 wounds.
Okay.
There's nothing you need to repair, it's not having
So
any impact.
this one is halved because of crippled and halved once more because of the lock-on
Brace for impact.
brace for impact, so we won't have many shots left.
Well, the minimum is
So
always
the
1.
best thing would be to run him over there, hope that he explodes, killing all of them. Okay, and I think that's the end of your first turn.
Yeah.
Quite a successful one. Okay, after ridiculous turn 1, because of my many errors when it came to positioning and turning and stuff like that, first turn I think I might do some more damage in my second turn. As you can see, all of them advanced. My heavily stricken crippled ship will use its remaining last dice to add to the damage, but in the end I think it'll go down. Okay, let's start from left to right. As you can see, the Devastation class cruiser Hell Awaits will use most of its firepower, apart from the lances over there, will use most of its firepower into the station. So we've got 5 on 6s, only, 2 of them.
It's already gone.
So we can remove the lances over there because they don't have enemies left to fight. And then we've got the lances from the starboard side into them on 4s. One of them.
Takes only away the shield.
Yeah. Okay, the next one over there. We've got lots of dice, and I think all of them, because there are no targets left at the left side, all of them are Archerons, batteries and regular stuff, firing into them, into the second escort. So we've got 3 on 5s. One 5.
Reroll. He's on lock on.
Okay, so 2 rerolls.
So 1 so far.
Mm-hmm.
A shield from the closest one.
And then we've got 2 lances on 4s. Both of them I needn't reroll, so one of them is down, but you may, because of your...
First off, the second shot takes out the shield from the next vessel.
Okay,
And then-
not from the stricken one?
Yeah, for this one,
Okay.
it would damage it. So 4+ to save it. Nope. So it gets destroyed. And then the last remaining one takes first out a shield before he's doing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another blast marker for the exploded ship.
So then we've got lots of shots all over there into them. So they are on 5s from his left side, from the port side. And we'll do reroll. 2. So only 2.
So the first one again will take out the shield. The second one would do damage to the ship if I don't roll a 4, which I don't.
Let's roll the 1. So 1 ship is gone.
The closest one goes up.
And then I've got 2 lances left into him on 4s, but rerollable because of,
First
and
one
I'll
takes out the shield.
reroll. Now I've got 2.
Shield for the first hit.
Yeah.
And a fail safe for the second one. Wow.
So this one is down as well.
Bad rolling.
And we can remove this dice as well. And now we've got lots of firepower from him. I managed my leadership test in order to be able to target the great one. So these are the ones on 6s. And I may re-roll. 3 re-rolls. I rolled 1. Hope you can see it. Now it's the same result, only 1 shield. But I've got 2 lances left. Unfortunately, Chris Cruiser is on re-roll. On lock somewhat. Okay, 2 lances.
Second shield. Remember, I have the 2 shield upgrade.
Yeah.
And now 4 up.
Yeah. I think you'll do it, yeah.
Yay, finally.
And then we've got some firepower left from him, from the stricken vessel, which are 2 no lock on, 2 on 5s into the remaining escorts. 1 did it. I don't think they've... But he doesn't have lock on. He's the stricken one.
Sorry, I missed.
1, but I think they've already taken damage. I'm not sure if...
Well, in this case, he's the guy that lost his shield from the firepower. He would be the closest.
Okay.
So...
And then we've got 1 lance left. No. Technically, some of you guys could survive, but I've got lots of others left, and I sent them into...
Release the Kraken! Or the bombers in this case.
I sent the bombers. I sent 1, 2, 3 waves of bombers, but not him, because we've already measured. 3 waves of bombers into... I'd really like to harm your large battleship, because 2 shields are down. Maybe if I'm lucky I can...
The shields don't play a role anyways.
Okay. So I sent the 3 of them into him.
Yeah, you gotta roll, go through the blast markers.
Yeah.
On a 6, they blow up in the debris.
Oh, the first one.
Nope.
5, I'm lucky.
Through.
The second.
So, yeah.
And I roll. Hopefully I won't roll a 6. Yeah.
No, they also make it through.
And for the third one, and we just, because 1 was out, so we just leave this one there.
Yeah, you take the whole squadron then.
Okay.
You cannot split up. Well, you could technically split up a squadron.
4.
Oh, okay. So, I have 2 turrets.
3 waves of 6 bombers.
So, 2 turrets against the first wave.
Yeah.
Nope, they make it through. 2 turrets against the second wave. They are destroyed. 2 turrets against the last wave. Nope, they also make it through. So you have 2 of them die.
Okay.
The other 4 will do each a d6 minus 2. Roll for the first ones.
So 4 times d6.
Do it individually, please.
Okay.
So the first wave, it's 2 dice, and from each dice you need to subtract a result of 2, because I'm having 2 active defense turrets.
Okay. So we've got, that's not much,
It
this
becomes
is 0 and 1.
and there's 1 bomb hitting the hull. With this 1 bomb, you need to roll a 6, because you still need to penetrate my armor.
So this is bad.
Nope.
No.
So this wave didn't do any damage.
And the second wave.
How many bombs are dropping? This becomes a 1 and a 4, so there's 5 in total.
2, 3, 5 times on 6s.
Exactly.
Hoping for 5 6s, followed by 6s.
Oh,
only
that
3
was good.
6s.
That was good.
And we can roll to see if there are criticals involved. Oh, for 3 6s, come on, baby. No.
Yeah, but still, you crippled it.
No, it's only.
Oh, hey, I'm on brace. I
Okay.
can still try to save myself.
Nice.
So, against 3 damage points.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. And at least I'm not crippled. I saved 1.
And how many wounds do we have?
6, and
Okay.
there's 4 remaining.
So I might do 1 additional, maybe. So, and then we've got the bombers over there left. We can remove them.
Yep. These will return to the ship.
And the bombers over there will... Yeah, I think they just fly closer towards. Maybe they'll hit next time.
That makes perfect sense.
And we can remove some markers. 5. I think none of us can repair anything.
No. Alright. Oh,
So that's the end of my second turn.
Quite successful round. Alright, second turn of the Space Marines. The rest of the parked ships finally started their engines and
Awoke and engaged.
awoke and is ready to engage. So, after some maneuvering, ready to confront the Chaos ships, not allowing Marcus to have an easy flyby.
I was lucky that this one wasn't killed yet, but I think this time it'll go down, although I was lucky that both of them are on brace for impact. I managed here to do the order once again, and here's on brace for impact for the first time.
Yeah, so almost all of the ships are going to get a little bit of love. I'd say we begin over here with the crippled target, trying to
All of them into him.
give it some love. So let's begin with the firepower from the... I think this one was from the battleship, from the cruiser. This is from the cruiser.
All from this one.
No,
Yeah.
the 3 were from those. 1 5s. 1.
1 5, 1 shield down, and I think that's the only shield because my stuff is halved.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we got the Space Marine cruiser firing. Nope.
5, no,
And
but
then
you've got
the
1 lance left.
Bombardment cannon. Also, nope. And then there's firepower, a single shot from those into him.
Nope. No.
And
1 shot in the back of him.
Yep, they also have lances,
Yeah.
but they are halved, so this is the single shot into this ship. Yep, takes away a shield.
Okay. Oh, and maybe, let's hope, because there are more shots from the large one inbound
Then we have the firepower
of them.
from them, yeah. They targeted this ship, the other Slaughter, the one that we used the proxy model for. Batteries on 5. Oh, that was good.
That's a lot. 3 of them.
It's 2 shields and 1 damage.
But I'm on brace for impact, so I can hope if I roll a 4. That's 1 damage.
Doesn't
And I'm
become-
down to 7.
It's not critical. And then there's also 3 lances from them. 2 hits.
2 made it.
Yeah.
I hope. 5.
1 went through.
So 2. I'm down to 6 wounds.
It's not critical, but you're down to 6 wounds. Then there's also the firepower from my other cruiser into him. 5s. 1 goes through unless you brace.
Roll a 3. No.
Doesn't become critical, no it won't. But you lost another wound.
Down to 5. Yeah.
And then there's 2
2 lances.
bombard shots into him.
It's already lost 1 shield. Yeah.
So that's the second shield.
And the second shield.
And then we get ordnance.
So he's down to 5.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ordnance to intercept your ordnance.
Is it possible with bombers on both sides?
It's not a bomber, I have a Thunderhawk
Okay.
gunship, which acts as a fighter when it's engaging other
So
markers.
your 2 can kill my 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Mine will remain in game. On a 4+ though. I need to roll. If I roll a 4 up, they remain in game. No, I don't. So they return to the ship. But I took out your your markers, which is critical.
So,
and then there's a lot of markers. Some of them might get removed. One of them.
okay,
And it's the one that is not in contact with anything. I take this one.
No repairs to be done. That's kind of a miracle after all this.
I'm surprised that the crippled ship actually is still alive. Yeah.
Okay, and we'll be back after my third movement. Okay, we are back after my third movement, and this time I think I've sacrificed my slaughter class called Antichrist for sure, because I didn't move much in order to use the last at least 5 shots. And I think the punished ship won't even be crippled because I lack the firepower or the arc or stuff like that to deal damage, and I also lack the firepower to harm most of the escorts. But I think I've really many guns pointing at the second cruiser of Admiral Chris, and he didn't succeed in getting his brace for impact order. But let's see what we roll. Okay, let's start. It's quite complicated. We've tried to put some dice next to the models. Let's start with the stricken one. The stricken one has got 2, 1 regular shot and 1 lance into the escorts over there, and Chris passed in, giving them brace for impact. So I'll do this one first on a 5, no, and the lance, yep, but it's only a piece of debris.
No, it's not. I'm in contact.
Okay.
So I don't have a shield.
Okay.
But
you rolled a 4.
Bracing.
So we can remove 2 dice, and then he'll use his front weapon on a 5 into them. No. And he'll use the last battery and the last lance into them. They are, I think they are on brace for impact. Let's just roll. It's probably a field anyway. Yeah, 5.
So that's a shield.
And then we've got my 4+ lance. Yep, I rolled a 6, but Chris may try to brace. At this time we only rolled a 1, so we can remove 1.
The back one.
I don't care which one. One for you. So, my crippled ship, finally has succeeded in killing 1 more escort before being killed for sure. And then we've got its sister ship, the fellow slaughter class cruiser called Tormentor. Tormentor is over there and will use some dice into and 1 lance into the escort as well. On 5s, none of them. And he's not on cool commands, so he's only got the 4 left, but this one is on a, so 1 4 would be enough, yeah.
Brace for impact. Yes.
Okay, so they survived, he didn't do anything up to now, but now he's got 3 into your second cruiser on 5s.
On 6s.
On 6s, none of them. And we've got 1 lance left on a 4. 3. This was really bad. I think the second cruiser was a nightmare. All this firepower and positioned so that both sides could fire. Oh, complete nightmare. Should have killed him and maybe got 1 or 2 shields down from him.
Typical ghetto gangster drive-by shooting. A lot of bullets, not a single hit.
But now we've got 5, 6 on 6s into this one before we've got, and I may re-roll these 3 because of lock on. So the normal ones I mustn't re-roll on 6s. No. And now the 3 I may re-roll. 1 6 and re-roll them. Oh, that's great.
Wow.
2 shields gone and 1 real hit, and you can't do any 2, and 1 hit. Let's see if it's critical. No, but you're down to 5 wounds. And now we've got the real fun. We've got 4 lances from him into the ship, and I may re-roll them. Reroll 3. Ah, bad. But at least you're down to 4
Try
wounds.
this one to become critical.
Yeah. Down to 4 wounds. And then we've got 2 lances left from the last ship into him on 4th, but no reroll. And this time you're down to 2 wounds. And let's see if we get some critical. 1 is a critical. Let's roll what happens. So you're down to 2 wounds. And you've got a critical 4. 4 is...
Port armament is
You
damaged.
probably won't be able to... Oh, okay, you would have been able to use it. And now we've got my bombers left because this phase is over. So I think I'll use all of them into your ship. You've got 1 turret left.
First see
2
what
waves.
gets through the debris.
Is there? Oh yeah, there's debris. 1 for the first wave. On a roll of what do I die?
6.
On a roll of 6. Oh, come on, maybe. It's a 1. Ha.
Second wave.
And the second wave on a...
Nope, they make it through. And
So-
then I had 2 turrets. I'm crippled, so I'm now down to 1 turret.
Yeah, 1 for the first wave.
First wave.
On a 6.
Flop. Nope. Second wave. Nope.
So,
So you made it in contact with 4 markers.
yeah.
So you roll 4 dice and subtract 1 from each individual result.
Okay, the first 2, 6 and
So
5,
it becomes 5 and 4 is 9 rows in total.
9. And then for the second wave,
2 and 4, 6. So
15.
15 dice in total.
15 dice on 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Which should be enough mathematically.
8. Come on, baby. I need 2 6s. 2 6s. 2 6s.
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
technically impossible.
Oh, yeah.
You won't damage it.
Got 1, 2, 3
And roll
6s.
your catastrophic damage.
See if it's catastrophic. No.
No, 2d6. It's automatically because it's
Okay.
2d6 catastrophic damage.
9.
Plasma drive overload. Remove the ship from play. Each ship within 3d6 centimeters is hit by the explosion with lance shots equal to half the ship's starting number. So the starting number of life points is 6, half is 3. So everything within 3d6 centimeters is hit with 3 lance shots.
Okay.
So
So
let's see.
just draw the range or the radius. Everything
10.
that's out.
10 centimeters.
So you'll get both of my cruisers and you get your squadron. And no, if you take the stem, no.
Yeah, it's my escort squadron.
Okay, 3 lances in this one. On force.
2.
2 hits, 2 shields.
Yeah.
So now 2 into him, and he doesn't have a shield. No, he doesn't. And now 2 into yours, and one of them is without shield.
Nothing.
Okay, nothing happened, but
Lucky.
I can remove this one and remove my fighters and remove your amount of wound dice and put a new debris marker there. Okay, then let's remove some markers. I think we can't repair 2 markers. 2. Think nothing to be repaired. But by now half of your fleet I think is gone.
Yeah, well, in the whole company of Space Marines.
Yeah. It's time for us to do some Battlefleet Gothic themed 2nd edition battle reports where maybe some of them land in a landing capsule on the planet and then try to set traps for the advancing Chaos Force or stuff like that. So we're back after Chris' 3rd movement, and as you can see, one of the orbital platforms can now participate in the battle. This one will be hard pressed, shot at, my Chris remaining battle cruiser, as well as the two of the escort squadron over there, whereas from them only he might suffer, but he's still relative unwounded, and therefore I think together with Brace for Impact, the 3 lances and the regular shot shouldn't harm him too much. Okay, but let's see.
So, the escorts first.
1-5 into my cribbage ship.
Oh.
I'm lucky I'm on Braced again.
The cruiser.
1-5s. I don't have shields because I'm... Yeah.
That's 3 successes.
So 3 4s, I hope. Otherwise, I'm close to death. 2 of them and 1 more. You can roll if it's a critical.
It is.
1-6. Let's see what it is.
10.
10. I'm down 1 wound.
Shield collapse. Yeah, okay, you don't have shields at the moment anyway. Now you have no shields anymore.
We did it wrong. I think this one already lost his right battery.
No, there was this one that died.
Was this tricky one?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's down to 3 wounds, and you rolled a 10.
The 2 bombard cannons, one of them hits, and it will be, see if you can defend.
Yeah. So I'm down to 3 wounds, and you've rolled another critical, which was a 10. So let's see what 10 is.
Yeah, you don't have shields anymore.
Shields collapse, but I wouldn't have any one of them either, so it's no shields. No shields.
Then...
But he survived miraculously. That's really cool, because being able to shoot back once more with all of my weapons, I might maybe kill one of them.
So, the escorts into him. 5s. 1.
I don't have shields, but I brace for impact.
You have 1 shield.
Oh, 1 shield? Okay.
You're on 1 marker, so you have still 1 shield, which now you don't.
So nothing happened, and now you've got all your shots into him, my main battleship from them. A regular one and 3 lances.
This is the Hunter's single shot of a single battery. Nope.
No, I've got 3 lances on force, but I'm on brace for impact.
Wow.
1. And I hope I'll roll a 4. No, so he's 1 wound. He's down to 7.
It's not critical. And then the orbital platform. No.
But he's down to 7.
Bad rolling.
And this is my army. So I write 7 left.
So
7 left.
6 markers removed. Oh, no. I still have my ordnance fit. Yeah. I see that the Sundogs can make it to the crippled cruiser. Yes, they do. I think you have a single turret left.
Yeah.
So you can try to shoot them up.
What do I have to roll?
4.
4 plus? Or maybe let's do 4 plus for the Emperor, for the War Master. Yeah.
Alright.
So they are dead. And I really survived. Wow, this was great luck. No repairs to be done, I think.
6. And that is it.
I'll be back after my 4th. Okay, and we are back after my movement. As you can see, they concern the damage they dealt so far enough. They would like to have some Space Marines left to fight on the planet or somewhere else. So their passing by attack will culminate in the last lances being used on the stations, whereas he turned and he tries to fire at one station, the other station, and into the back of the escort squadron. And my stricken, miraculously still alive one, will use its remaining punishing 5 dice, 2 lances and 3 batteries against this and the squadron over there. So this one will survive to tell the tale. Okay, let's start over there. I think that's easier. We've got 1 on a 5 into them. No, and so the lance is, yeah. Doesn't matter anyway, because it would just have created or would be saved by the shield, but we've got on 5s into these escorts. One did it, and one already is on a shield, so one is probably dead. And we've got one lance left. No, but this cruiser, the Slaughter, I think it's the Tormentor, will use 2 batteries and 1 lance into them as well. The 2 batteries, no, and now he's lucky because the lance can only, yeah, put another debris marker, but it will survive. Then we've got over there, we've got lots, 3 shots into the station over there. None, because I need 6s, and a lance from 1, yeah. So the shield is down.
Yeah, the shield is down.
And then we've got 4 and 2 lances into the other station. No 6, but 2 lances left. 1, 2. Let's hope both hit. No. Yeah, so there might be some fire inbound from your lances, and only a single escort has been killed in my entire 4th turn. Okay, and that's the end of the 4th turn.
Plus marker removed.
Yep. 4. Maybe 1 over there. So we are back, and as you can see, the escorts of Chris are chasing my large ships, and we've got a huge problem because both of the weapon platforms are still active. They rain lots of lance fire into my 2 largest ships. The Acheron heavy cruisers south of heaven, and the devastation class is hit worst. The Heller Weights, I think, will be targeted by 2 regular ones and 5 or 6 lances even. And over there, I think this should be sufficient. The remaining Space Marine cruiser and the last frigate over there from the squadron of 3 or 2, I don't know, into the back of my crippled ship with 3 wounds remaining. But let's see, where would you like to start?
Let's start over here. So,
okay.
The escort into the crippled cruiser.
I don't think I've got a shield left because of the debris marker next to me.
You also suffered the damage result where there's no shields.
And
wow!
Now we've got 3 brace for impact rolls. Otherwise it will be, yep.
Okay, 1 of them.
Let's see if it's critical.
Yes, it is.
Ah, your luck returns.
The 6 engine room, plus 1 damage.
Okay, now I'm down to 1.
And you cannot make turns anymore until it's repaired.
I think there won't be a crew left to repair it. Okay, now we've got the next 3.
So, regular shots, regular batteries from the Space Marine battlecruiser. Bow!
And now, in the end, his luck comes back.
Emperor be blessed.
Yep.
Okay,
and he's down.
It's so dead.
Yeah.
Catastrophic damage. A 4. It becomes a drifting Hulk.
Okay,
so
I think we can remove it.
Drift forward.
Yeah.
And then
but it will die anyway as soon as it touches the planet, I think.
I would assume that it's probably going to get dragged into the orbit and then probably
burns in the atmosphere.
The surface, something like that.
Okay.
And then we need to burn the entire surface of the planet because now it's stained by chaos.
The Inquisition is already inbound to do a small...
Nobody expects the Inquisition. So, a platform may fire its lances into...
No, I do the 3 first.
Doesn't really matter.
Small ones.
Them,
Because if...
them. 1.
1, and we'll
It's the
try
shield. It's
one.
the shield. It's the shield.
Okay.
And then we got the lances.
Mm-hmm.
1, it's the other shield.
Okay. So this one is unharmed and can maybe cripple the station.
And then we got over here the firepower from the remaining
All
hunter.
of them into him, I think.
The hunter is going to shoot twice into the back. 1 takes down a shield.
Mm-hmm. And though we've got 6 lances.
Then he got a lance. Second shield.
Second shield, and now 5 other ones.
And then there's the lances from the planetary defense platform. That would be damage.
Mm-hmm.
You're not braced for impact, so you see if it's critical. No, it's not.
Suffered 1
And
so far, and we've got 3 left.
Yeah.
Down to 7.
Yeah. Surely doesn't make any difference. And then the escort, we did roll so they can target a different target. They try to fire their lance shots into him. On force. 2.
So 2 shields.
Yeah. And that is it.
No, you
There's
forgot your
no
bombers
yeah,
or torpedoes.
Let's have them fly 20 somewhere.
But I'm not sure what happens to them on the planet. Okay, we have to remove some markers.
5.
After my 5th turn, and as you can see, this is around where the Hulk went into the atmosphere ablaze before it exploded. Over there, your 2 squadrons chasing my large ones, but both of them managed to do their come to new heading orders, and now they'll use 2 lenses and I think 7 or 8 batteries into the station to make sure it can't use its lances any longer. And the remaining slaughter, the Tormentor, will use 1 battery and 1 lance into the ship. I manage my leadership. And all of these over there into the other station remaining. So let's see if I'm lucky. Let's start over there with this station. All of them, and I need some 6s. Now let's put the camera there. We can focus more easily. I've got 1 6 and
That's good enough.
shield. Yeah. And we won't need the lens. Over there, only on a 5 will I evoke your shield. Oh yeah, I did it. Now if the 4 plus is successful, he's dead even. No. So this one survived for sure. And now we've got all of these batteries into the station over there. To leave it an unguarded planet for the next chaos assault. Oh, yeah, that's the problem.
Aha, the mightiest of all defensive platforms.
None of them,
Blessed by the Omnisire.
only 2 dice, and none of them are on lock on or stuff like that. Yeah, that's it. Pooh, and now there's a lot of fire inbound.
Was that the lances?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you shot down the shield. Because he had a 6.
And there's a lot of fire inbound because he's got 2 lances left. Another 3 from behind, 5 lances in his 5th turn. So we can't repair anything, I think, because the only real critical damage has been done to the one already removed. So let's remove some debris. 2, and I'd say they are great for me. We can remove some over here. So, and that's the end of my 5th turn.
So, turn number 5. My desperate attempt with the remaining escorts to at least cripple that 1 slaughter
The
cruiser
Tormentor.
proxy.
After the Antichrist has already been dealt with
Yeah.
in a quite unchristian way.
Yeah, let's begin with the escort on 5s.
Mm-hmm.
Oop. Then my Nova Cruiser, escort. Nope. Turn ons. Oop. The firepower from those. That's the shields.
2 shields, yeah. But you've got 5 lances left. And I failed my order because I wanted to put it on brace for impact.
That's 2.
Mm-hmm.
So he's down on 3. Are they critical? Nope, they aren't.
And you've got 2 from the space station left, and this might be the revenge for all of the other space stations being killed. Now we're down to 1 to a single one and
Non-critical.
non-critical. But it survived, and now the others will be punished.
Oh.
Because it's still a slaughter.
6 markers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is it for the first turn.
One final time, yeah. The Chaos ships turned back towards their enemies in order to rain death upon the remaining orbital platform, and remaining on 1 wound, but now blessed with a lock-on order. He'll contribute 1 lance and 3 shots into the first one, whereas my heavy cruiser will use 1 battery and 4 lances into the second squadron because he's passed his leadership test, and the carrier has got lock-on as well and has got 4 batteries and 2 lances into the remaining orbital station. So let's see if I can do enough damage to win before disengaging, and this one will be another loss. Okay, 4 into the station on 6s, and I may reroll. I got a 6, 2 6s, 2 rerolls. Yeah, I think this one is dead for sure, and the lances are wasted. Now we've got all of them on a 5, but no lock-on into them. And 4 lances. I need 2 for plus to kill another ship. Oh, this was bad. Shit. Yeah. Okay, and now we've only got the 3 regular ones on 5s into him. 1. And then if he roll a 4, his fate is sealed.
You're locked on.
Thanks for reminding me. This one is down, but we've got, I think you've got, I got the impression that you've not even lost half of your escorts. The board is full of them. Okay, and that's the end of my 6th turn.
So, turn 6 for the Space Marines. Careful maneuvering, trying to kill off at least the second slaughter cruiser.
Like a wolf pack, they're hunting and chasing, and finally got the heavily crippled tormentor.
We're seeking revenge for an entire battle company. So, let's begin with the escort on 5s. Nothing, as always, nothing. Batteries from the other escorts. Nothing, as always.
But you've got 4 lances left, 5.
3 lances.
1.
A single one. You don't have a shield, so this would kill you unless you
I
save.
can do my brace stuff on a 4? No.
Kill!
So let's see the result. 2d6, is it?
Yeah.
I roll. Oh no.
It's a 4. It's another drifting Hulk.
Yeah. And that's bad, because I think if I leave, you get victory points if you're alone left at the end of the battle for rescuing hulks or salvaging hulks, maybe in order to have them repaired, blessed by the Omnissiah, after it was a Chaos Hulk for the last years. And that's the end of your sixth.
My sixth turn, yeah.
And we're back after my seventh movement. They haven't left yet. He's using 2 lances into him, robbing him of his valuable shields, and he'll use 2 batteries and 2 lances into them, but luckily both of my ships are on lock-on, so the 2 into him on force, both of them 2 debris markers. Nice, demoralized, it can't see me. And then we've got 2 on 5s into them. 1 reroll, so 1 debris marker. And then we've got the first lance on a 4, no reroll. No, the second lance on a 4, no reroll. No. Well, this was bad. I think I should have just left. And that's the end of my 7th turn. So we're back after Chris' 7th movement.
Yep, quite a risky maneuver. I pushed forward with the remaining battle cruiser, which cost me dearly, because if Marcus returns fire and takes away 1 more wound, then it would be counted as crippled, which gives him more points. But I need to put some firepower into the battle here, and one of the escorts is coming closer, but the angle of attack is not enough, or better said, the angle of attack was enough to see one of the ships, but the range won't be sufficient. So no matter what, they are not going to participate in this rounds of shooting. However, this attack from the escort vessel is going to hit him on a 5. It does not. And then we got
your lock-on shots, yeah.
The battle cruiser lock-on. So 1 hit.
1 shield.
1 shield. And then the bombard cannons. Both hits, so 1 takes the shield away.
And now
against
I've
the
got
other
the
one you
chance.
may roll.
Let's hope for 4+. Otherwise he's down to 6 wounds and maybe even suffers a critical. Yeah.
So you saved, okay. Yeah, that is it. I can move my ordnance, but it's not gonna make much of an impact.
They have to roll if they fly through the stuff?
Yeah, they could technically fly.
Okay. Okay, the end is nigh, and what we've got left is south of heaven, and our devastation hell awaits. Quite fitting. Okay, all of them have to target this one. I managed lock on with 1, but Chris managed to brace for impact with him. So I've got 2 regular batteries. I can re-roll this one. Yeah, 6. So 1 shield is down. And the other one, which I can't re-roll, is only 3. And then I've got 2 regular lances on 4s, which can't be re-rolled. 1 of them. So now we've got the 4 lances, which can be or could be re-rolled. The first 2, yep, 1, and the other one on re-roll command 4, no. So 1 wound for you, unless you roll a 4. So brace, no. So you're down to 2, 3 wounds and crippled. And I roll, maybe I've got a 6. No, I've got a 5. And I've got 2 lances left, which I can reroll as well. Come on, baby. Both of them. So 2 braces. No. So it's another wound. We're down to 2 wounds. And we can roll once more. If we roll a 6. No. So this was all the shooting of my 8th turn. Nothing to be repaired. We can only remove some markers. 5 markers to be removed. Let's take some from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. And we'll be back with Chris. 8th turn, I think.
So, turn 8. Chasing the remaining Chaos ships. Trying to get at least one of them down to a crippled status. Let's see if that will be successful. I begin with my own crippled
5.
Space Marine cruiser. On a 5. Rerollable, because I'm on lock on. Nope. The bombard. Nope, but rerollable. Yes.
It's 1 shield.
It's the shield. And then the firepower from the escort. 1 takes out the second shield. And then the firepower from the remaining escorts. 2 hits, but you're braced.
So, hoping for luck before the Lance strike. Now I need force. No. I'm down to 5 wounds.
One of them becomes a critical.
Okay. Roll what?
Double 1.
Double ones. It's probably...
Dorsal armament.
Okay.
Damaged.
Won't need this any longer.
And then the lances. 2 more.
2 more. And this might cripple me. So let's see if I roll 2 force. One of them. Here I'm down to 4. Now I'm crippled.
Does it become critical? No, it won't. And then I have an ordnance phase.
Yeah.
20 centimeters. I sent the Thunderhawks in.
Okay.
Do they get destroyed by hitting debris? Nope.
2.
This time they make it through.
And I've got 3 turrets, but only 2 because I'm crippled.
Yeah.
What do I need to roll?
Force.
4 plus. So both of them are dead, aren't they? Because it's 1 wave.
It's 1 wave.
Oh, okay.
It's either a marker or not. It doesn't really matter. It won't make a difference. And then we take away 3 blast markers. And that's it for turn 8 for the Space Marines.
Okay, as you can see, one turned, the other one just moved a little in order to use the special order reload, granting me 2 bombers. And okay, let's see what happens. None of them has got a lock on, unfortunately. We've got 3 batteries and 1 lance into the first one over there. We've got 2 lances into them. And we've got the 2 bombers into him later on, maybe. So let's see if I at least manage to kill this one. 3 on 5s, but no rerolls or other cool stuff. No, none of them. Ah, bad. And only 1 4. No, not even this. Pooh. The 2 lances into them on 4s. 1. So I should have focused on my fire. It's the same problem. The same fault I do again and again. And now I think I'll use both of them on him. 1 wave, so it's 1 roll. On a 6 I die.
I still got my defense turrets.
Oh, don't I have to roll first if I die because of the debris?
Yeah, that too.
On a 1 I die or on a 6? On a 6 I die. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
know that feeling. I had that so many times.
Yeah, that's a bad result. Now, not a single wound dealt. Orders wasted. So we'll have to play another 5 turns, I think, because now I can't even leave the battlefield within 1 or 2 turns. And we can remove some debris. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. That's the end of my 9th turn. We are halfway through.
Turn number 9 for the Space Marines. Firing with the escort ships, all of the battery firepower in total. This will be 2 hits, so these are the shields.
And then you've got your 3 lances left.
And then the 3 lances. Wow, all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. So I need to roll 3 force because my brace for impact, which was sound. First I wasn't sure. Yeah.
1 gets through. It's not critical, but you're down to
6
6 wounds.
And then you've got your bombers maybe left if you're lucky
I've got
within 20.
him.
And these.
A 5 and a 4 needed against him.
But he's braced once more.
So the regular firepower hits and hits a shield. And then the bomber flies in.
Yeah.
Does it get destroyed in the debris? No, it won't.
No, I've got.
2 turrets. Because you got 3 in total before you.
And I need to roll 4 plus?
Yep.
Okay, let's hope for 4 plus.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the end of your 9th turn.
Yep.
Nothing to be repaired, some stuff to be removed.
3, 4, 5.
And we'll be back after my 10th movement.
Yep.
Okay, round number 10. As you can see, only few shots can be fired because my vessels were on lock or on brace for impact during the last turn. So we've only got 2 lances and 1 regular one into them. Let's hope for a 5. No, it's only a 3. And then 2 lances on force. Only 1 of them, so 1 shield. And then we've got 1 regular one and 1 lance into the crippled battleship. The regular one, no, and the lance, 4. So now I've got 4. I've got 2 bombers left, 1 wave. Do they have turrets?
Yep.
In case both of my bombers go there, can I kill 2 of your ships or only 1?
You make contact with 1 ship.
Okay.
So I don't think that
So
it
this
bounces over to the other ship.
So this would be a kill for sure. Whereas this one, because I have to roll 6 afterwards, come on.
Honestly, I don't know. I would have to reread.
I'll try them.
I don't even know how many turrets they have. These are the firestorms. The firestorm escorts. You get 2 turrets each.
Okay. So you've got 2 rolls against my wave?
Well, I got 2 rolls because you're attacking 1 vessel.
Yeah.
I don't know if these are combined. We never had that. Something to reread for the next battle. Okay, they make it through.
Okay.
No matter what.
So 2 dice for
Minus
the number of attacks.
So
It's a single
it's
attack.
a single attack against 5.
No,
Oh, lucky me.
a complete waste of ammunition for the last 3 turns.
Oh.
Whereas you are constantly sucking a wound here and there. Okay, the end of my 10th turn. Okay, and at this point, and mainly because it's 20 past 9 and we expected our game to end at 8 o'clock, we decided on calling an end to the game. It was quite an interesting game because first I thought I'd only fly through, hit some stuff, and then be off after my third or fourth turn. But when it was clear that I'd lose the second slaughter class cruiser, the tormentor after the Antichrist, I had to stay a little longer in order to do some damage, and I at least managed to kill off the 2 orbital platforms, cripple the remaining battle cruiser, and kill at least one more of the escorts. But the Space Marine escorts, in the end, I got the impression that after 10 turns I haven't even managed in killing half of them. And with their lances and their high maneuverability, they're, I think, equal but better armed, equal to the Elder Corsairs but better armed.
Yeah, a long-lasting game. I think the longest we've played so far, and we're going to call it for the day, mostly because both of us are running out of time and we got other stuff to do as well today. Points-wise, Marcus did succeed and achieved a win. And depending on how many more turns we would have played, if he would have accelerated with both ships, giving them the special order to go full speed ahead, I think he might have outrun me, because even though my escorts are pretty fast, I only have a 30 centimeter range, so you might have gotten away with both of the remaining cruisers. To be honest with you, the second Space Marine strike cruiser that was still alive but was down to 2 wounds, at this point in the game I would have withdrawn with it. I would have turned away from the battle and tried to escape, because I don't want to have another main battle vessel getting wasted in this combat. If you think about it in terms of the fluff, there's a whole bunch of escorts that have died. There's all of the 4 orbital platforms of the planet gone, and there's 1 Space Marine strike cruiser with 100 brothers lost to the chapter. So it was a heavy blow to whatever Space Marine chapter would have suffered this amount of damage. Plus, the planet in itself is almost defenseless.
Yeah.
There's no platforms left. The entire fleet is scattered around in the sector. So if this was just the first wave of a chaos incursion and there's more ships coming, if this was a campaign, this would have been a heavy, heavy loss to the Imperium.
On the other hand, Chaos felt the hammer blow of the Space Marines because there's only 1 ship intact, 2 cruisers are gone, and the 4th one is crippled. So they've suffered as well. And it's hard to be sure. I'm maybe the Archon would have been able to kill off the escorts in the end, but because of the lances he might even have suffered. Okay. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the battle, and we are looking forward to our next one. Next one will be the escalation campaign, Elder Corsairs versus Chaos.
Alright, see you next time around.
Bye.
Bye.